All right, I'm going to change focus to another big issue, and Mariette, if you can help me out on this, which has come up at the World Economic Forum, sustainable development. If you go through the global risk report of WEF, it's interesting because in the immediate impacts that they're looking at and in the long-term impacts at number 2, it's all about climate change. This was not the case, say, 10 years back, when the focus of WEF in terms of risks being identified was linked to trade and other issues. The reason I bring this up in this context is because when we talk about nationalism and the US versus China versus India and other nations, we forget about something that brings us all together in a bad way. Isn't this essentially the big link, the environment, that needs to bring countries together?
Oh, it absolutely should be. It absolutely should be, and I believe we need to be humble in the most developed nations, like the European countries, because frankly, if all people in the world would like to have the level of consumption that our citizens have, the problems would exacerbate massively. I was in Delhi last week and I was already shocked now by the levels of pollution. I know it's a cliche, but it's really tangible and it's problematic for children growing up there and for them to develop, into healthy adults, etc. So we definitely have to find solutions, and we need to see leadership. So I'm happy that, for example, the European Union has decided not to engage in trade agreements with countries that do not sign up to the climate agreement, the Paris agreements, for example. So I believe, and this is also, I think, a good way to look at trade and trade agreements and trade rules. It's not static. We can guide it into the direction that we believe we need to go as we learn about the threats to humanity, to our biodiversity, to sustainability, etc., our water quality, our air quality. We need to also leverage our economic and political way towards achieving these higher standards. I mean, we don't think about production the same way that we did 100 years ago. What we thought was acceptable 100 years ago in terms of what jobs people had, but also the health risks involved, we don't find acceptable again. Or anymore today. And I believe we need to go much further in using new technologies and new insights from science, new facts that we've learned to actually steer our own behavior in a better direction.
Yeah.